Hello, everyone. I'm Madam Jess, and welcome to Get Kinked, the podcast for KinkEd Atlanta, kinky education in Atlanta. On today's podcast, I will be telling you all about the awesome upcoming events, the educationals, and the social events coming up for KinkEd Atlanta in September and October 2024. Ton of new stuff, so stick around and find out more. The last few weeks have been so incredibly busy for both me, myself, and for KinkEd Atlanta that I realized over the weekend that I have forgotten to give you your usual update for classes and events. So, taking a few minutes today to stop doing my interviews with other pro-doms and to put a pause on some of the event planning to bring you some updates about what is going on with KinkEd Atlanta and events for September and October. There's so many of them, I'm not even going to bother to get into November and December because we'll be here all day. But I do have quite a few little exciting tidbits to share with everyone and wanted to take the time to do that. So the first little bit of news I wanted to share is that KinkEd Atlanta is very proud and pleased to be linking up with the new rental venue, Atlanta Bed and Bondage. So there is a brand new rental space here in Atlanta. You can find it on Airbnb. And again, that is Atlanta Bed and Bondage. We are both excited and grateful to be pairing up with them for some of our future classes and events. We're not leaving Metropolitan. We'll still have our monthly class there. We're still going to do some of our outreach events there. But having access to another venue now opens doors for us to have yet more classes and more events. So we've already started hosting some events there. If you've been paying attention, you will have seen that we have started a brand new Practical Bondage Series. It's a once-a-month class for this fall. That has already been hosted for the first time at Atlanta Bed and Bondage, as well as a few private smaller events. So we are now getting geared up and excited to open the doors up for people to use this space as a rental. And I'm really pleased to say that KinkEd Atlanta has been the first rental partner with Atlanta Bed and Bondage, and we're excited to continue that because it really does allow us to grow and do a lot of new things. In addition to the Practical Bondage Series, we are able to partner with them to do some smaller, more exclusive sort of events for some niche fetishes. For example, we will be having a latex social coming up for people who are interested in rubber and latex gear. In addition, many people often reach out to us and inquire if they can assist, if they can volunteer, that sort of thing. And so to streamline that process, we have now added a volunteer application to our list of apps for working with KinkEd Atlanta. So if you are interested in volunteering to work at an event with us, be sure to check that out. And that can be found on the website, www.kinkedatlanta.com. So for the rest of this podcast, I will run through the list of events like I usually do, give you the base information about which event is coming next, and then we can go back and fill in some details so that you can find the event you want within this podcast, and you won't have to sit and listen to the whole thing unless you want to. Now, I do drop hints and secret tidbits throughout the podcast, so you should probably stick around. But just in case you don't want to, here is the quick rundown right away. First up, on September 7th, we have author Janet Hardy from the West Coast joining us for a private lunch and book signing at Metropolitan Studios from noon to 3. Tickets for that can be found on Eventbrite at KinkEd Atlanta. Also on September 7th, Janet will be sticking around with us for our usual monthly KinkEd Atlanta class. This will be Dungeon Tales, everything I need to know I learned in the dungeon, and that will be featuring Janet Hardy as well. Tickets for that event are on sale through Metropolitan Studios, metrostudioseav.com/classes. On September 19th, we're going to have the second in our Practical Bondage series. This class is the Crotch Rope No Bits class, and those tickets can be found on Eventbrite at KinkEd Atlanta. On September 27th, Mistress Ultraviolet will be hosting the first latex social at the Atlanta Bed and Bondage. Those tickets just went up the other day. Those are also available on Eventbrite at KinkEd Atlanta. On October 5th, we have our bi-monthly Bedroom Bondage Rope 101 class. This class sells out every month. There are only 2 spots left in this class. You can find it on Eventbrite at KinkEd Atlanta. Also on October 5th, we have our usual KinkEd Atlanta monthly class at Metropolitan Studios. October's class will focus on high protocol events, including a really fun little bit by me on the language of fans. That class can be found on the Metropolitan Studios website, metrostudioseav.com/classes. On October 6th, we are pleased to repeat our biannual CPR certification course. This is a 4-hour course that certifies you for first aid, AEDs, and CPR through the American Heart Association. If you're interested in this class, you'll need to reach out and contact me directly, and the best way to do that is through the KinkEd Atlanta website, kinkedatlanta.com. And fresh news, we just added yet another event to the calendar on October 16th. We will be hosting a corset fitting party, and that will be with Dark Garden Corsetry. Those tickets are not yet available, but I will definitely let everyone know as soon as they are. Our high protocol class and our corset fitting event are lead ups to our big event in October, our very first Victorian Protocol Dinner, which will be hosted at Atlanta Bed and Bondage. You can find those tickets on Eventbrite. And finally, on October 24th, we will have the third in our Practical Bondage Series. That class will be on crotch rope with bits, which will be a continuation of the previous month's class, and you can find those tickets on Eventbrite. All right, everyone, as always, you can find the information for all of these classes on the KinkEd Atlanta website, kinkedatlanta.com. Of course, you can also always follow KinkEd Atlanta on social media at KinkEd Atlanta to get the latest updates and the newest events, because we are adding more and more events and classes all the time. Now that we've made it through the rundown of events and classes for September and October, I'm going to start back over at the beginning and give you a bit more information about each event in chronological order so that you can have more information and make decisions about the events to attend with us. The September 7th Janet Hardy event is one I've been looking forward to all year. I was absolutely ecstatic when I found out that she agreed to come visit with us and teach for us. And I had to hold that in. I couldn't say anything until the April fashion show. So when I finally was able to tell everyone, I've just been crazy excited about it. If you don't know who Janet Hardy is, she is an author who specializes in kink and BDSM polyamory books. She often co-authors with Dossie Eason. I've read several of her books. They're all very good. What I enjoy about them the most is that they're very easy to read and very relatable at the same time. Also, all of the books focus heavily on self-awareness as well as relationship and communication skills, which I think just cross boundaries no matter what kind of relationship you're in. So the VIP lunch is a perfect opportunity to actually get to meet and greet with Janet, maybe chat with her a little bit. If you would like an autograph in one of your books, definitely bring it with you. This is a perfect time to do it. It's going to be a very small, intimate little lunch. We can only have 35 to 40 people total, including our volunteers. So it's not very big, and there are not very many tickets left. It does include your catered lunch, and it's from noon to 3 at Metropolitan Studios. Now, those tickets are available on the Eventbrite page, but right after our VIP lunch, you'll want to stick around and attend Janet's class, because she will also be teaching our usual KinkEd Atlanta class. The name of this class is Everything I Need to Know I Learned in the Dungeon, and it is a collection of informational and educational stories that Janet has collected over the years and is excited to share with us in preparation for a new book. As usual, that class from 4 to 6 p.m. will be available to buy tickets through the Metropolitan website. And you guys know, who attend with us on a regular basis, that a lot of times, especially with these out-of-town presenters, we do book up. It does get full. We can accommodate about 50-ish people. I think I've bumped this one up a little bit, so you'll have to squeeze in. We do have some tickets left for that one, but make sure that you get them because I don't want to have to turn anyone away at the door. So please do make sure to purchase your tickets in advance on the Metropolitan website for this Saturday with Janet Hardy from 4 to 6 p.m. That brings us to our second class in the Practical Bondage Series, which we've been doing at the new Atlanta Bed and Bondage. Our first class was a no rope bondage class, so basically any kind of bondage that was not rope specific. Our next class coming up is going to be what I call a crotch rope no bits class. So this class is geared towards AFAB humans, but is not necessary. It's not really genital specific, but it is the beginning in a series of crotch rope. And with this particular class, there won't be any extra bits in the way. So that is why we call it the no bits class. Now, if you are attending this class and you need to borrow rope, I will ask you that you keep your underwear on. If you are hoping to attend the class and do crotch rope sans panties, that's perfectly fine, but make sure that you do have your own rope for sanitation and hygiene purposes. Part of this class will also go over attaching a Hitachi. So we will be learning how to tie a Hitachi to the female anatomy. And if you would like to participate in that and do it yourself, again, I recommend that you bring your own Hitachi for those purposes, for sanitation and hygiene reasons. So we'll be going over how to do these ties both on yourself as a self tie and also how to tie it on someone else. So there are a few different things. Like I said, the crotch rope in and of itself, learning how to tie toys into place, learning how to tie vibrators into place, and just creating several different either tension predicaments or predicaments using knots. We'll go over a few different things that you can do with crotch rope. And again, this will be the precursor to our next class, which will be the crotch rope with bits class. And we'll add in male genitalia in that one. And again, this class is on a Thursday, September 19th, and those tickets are available through the Eventbrite page. And Mistress Ultraviolet herself has decided to host a social for rubberist and latex fetishists. So if you know Mistress Ultraviolet, you can definitely tell that she loves her latex. And there aren't very many latex opportunities here in Atlanta. There's not really any rubber events. There aren't really that many places where you can go and purchase latex. So it's not really, I guess, got the following here in Atlanta, but perhaps it's not that it doesn't have the following. Maybe it's just that the following doesn't have the opportunity and anywhere to go. So we are creating that space for you at Atlanta Bed and Bondage on it's Friday, September 27th, and those tickets just went on sale. You can find those on the Eventbrite page. On October 5th, we have the always sold out Bed and Bondage Rope 101 class. This class is really geared towards couples and learning to connect with someone through rope while going through all the rope basics like types of rope, safety gear, things to watch out for, and some very basic single column ties for fun in the bedroom. So if you are interested in this class, I do suggest that you sign up as soon as possible. There's only 2 spots left. 2 spots, each spot being for a couple. So 4 people, 2 spots. Do sign up as soon as you can because it does sell out every month and there are only 2 left. This is on Eventbrite. You can find it there. In October, we will be exploring protocol and etiquette in preparation for our high protocol dinner coming up later in the month. So October 5th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Metropolitan Studios, as usual. Our class that month will be on high protocol events and etiquette. We will go over the usual things such as service and proper food service, beverage service, what a protocol event is, behavior expectations, that sort of thing. Now, I know that protocol classes, one of 2 things can happen. They're either super stiff and boring and just the whole time, or these poor subs get nervous and they freak out because they think they have to be perfect and they have to do everything right the first time. And oh my God, what if I do it wrong? to alleviate some of that stress and or boredom that can sometimes come with these protocol classes, I thought it would be a lot of fun to incorporate the language of fans. This is an old European royal court tradition where there is actually a secret language using fans, and it's a lot of fun to play with. It's just something fun to do to sort of break up the, we'll call it, stressfulness of a high protocol class. So I want us to all have a good time because that's always the point. So we'll have some fun with the fan language while also gearing up for our high protocol event on October 19th. And that event, as you know, is a Victorian themed protocol dinner. So I thought the fan language would really kind of lend itself well to the theme of our party. The tickets for the high protocol and fan language class can be found through the Metropolitan Studios website, metrostudioseav.com/classes. All right, well, twice a year we do host an official first aid and CPR certification. This class is taught by a personal friend of mine who just so happens to be the chief of EMS for the Sandy Springs Fire Department. So Patrick is coming back to teach with us once again. And this, like I said, this is a real certification. This is a real class. You will actually practice on the mannequins. You will learn to use an AED. We will talk about kink specific things to watch out for. I also usually encourage open questions that are kink or sexual related. Patrick is very open and he's always happy to answer those questions in a very mindful and courteous way. So don't be afraid. Come to the class if you have questions about your health and your safety in kink and BDSM. This is also a good class for that. And we do cover a lot of information for playing with people who are elderly, maybe playing with people with health conditions, playing with people who, you know, a variety of things from heart issues to diabetics to epileptics. We cover all of these things in this class. It's a 4-hour class. It is a long class, but again, it will provide you with a real certification through the American Heart Association when you're finished. Now, this class is October 6th. It's a Sunday. I do still have plenty of spaces left in this one at this time. So if you want to register for that, you want to reach out to me directly. You can do that through the KinkEd Atlanta website, kinkedatlanta.com, or you can email me directly, Madam Jess at Proton Mail. Either way is fine by me, but you do have to register with me directly. There's no Eventbrite. There's nothing on Metropolitan's website. You have to contact me to register for this class. And the newest event just added to our schedule. I really don't have a lot of information about this particular event yet, but I'm excited for it and wanted to get it out on everyone's radar. So as I said before, we have paired with Atlanta Bed and Bondage, and in order to open that venue up for people to come enjoy it, we are hosting a series of smaller niche events there, and one of those events is the corset fitting. So this is a corset fitting party. We have partnered up with Dark Garden Corsetry, and they will come be on site with their corsets. I don't have a lot of information about this one just yet, but I do think it's a really fun idea. There's no good corseteers per se in Atlanta, not like there used to be. So this is a good opportunity to get out there and try some corsets on, or have old corsets fitted to you, or just learn more about corsetry in general. Maybe you're curious and want to try. Additionally, the corset fitting party really is just in the nick of time, because on October 19th is the big one, the Victorian Protocol Dinner, the one that I've been gearing up and getting excited about for quite a while now. As I said earlier, if you are unfamiliar with protocol events or protocol dinners, we do have a class leading up to the dinner. So on October 5th, you can join us for a class on high protocol and formal etiquette. That will be at Metropolitan Studios. Meanwhile, our Victorian Protocol Dinner is going to be on Saturday, October 19th. Now, little bit of bad news about that dinner. Originally, I had booked a larger venue, and unfortunately, that venue closed. Thankfully, we have the brand new Atlanta Bed and Bondage, so we are moving our Victorian Protocol Dinner to that venue. The problem, of course, with that venue is that it is much smaller, so we have room for 40 only 40 seated guests. So we can accommodate a few more than that with subs who are maybe standing or kneeling while they're in service, but really what we can do is about 40 seated people, and that will be scattered amongst a couple of different rooms. But it's really cool space. It's already Victorian themed to start with, so I think this will be a really great opportunity to get people in there and experiencing that new space. Additionally, we don't have to move any furniture, which also makes me quite happy, as Atlanta Bed and Bondage is already furnished with kink and BDSM furniture. So you get a nice, intimate, exclusive sort of dinner experience in a very artistic setting. The dinner will be delicious, of course. You know I'm a foodie, so you know the food's going to be good. And if you're wondering what to dress and what to wear to go to a protocol dinner, that is the fun of this Victorian theme. So the Victorian theme is in place. Think Edgar Allan Poe, think Penny Dreadful, think goth, think vampires. It's right before Halloween, so let's play dress up and have some fun. Of course, if you don't have a costume, that's totally okay. All black always works just fine. But do take some time to dress up and have fun, because we will have a best dress contest. I'm very excited for that part. I love giving away prizes, and I love seeing the great outfits all of you come up with. It is a passion of mine for dress up. So great opportunity to explore Victorian protocol and Victorian costuming in a higher end exclusive dinner party. I'm so excited. But like I said, it's going to sell out quick because we can only have 40 seated people. That is up and on sale on Eventbrite, so do make sure to go ahead and get your tickets, as those have already been on sale for a minute now. And if you are interested in being a service sub or volunteer for this event, you can also find the volunteer application both on the KinkEd Atlanta website and on the Eventbrite page for the tickets. So if you're interested in volunteering, be sure to get that application in ASAP. You do get a discount if you're a house sub or volunteer, but that only works if you get the application into me soon enough to get your ticket. So be sure to do that as soon as you can. And we will end off the month of October with the third in our Practical Bondage series, and that is the crotch rope with bits class. So in the crotch rope no bits class, we focused on AFAB humans, and in this class we will focus on AMAB humans. So this class will build on the original class that focused just on the basics of the crotch rope itself, and we will build on that to incorporate the extra bits. So with bits, the male genitals, so there will be some cock and ball ties, there will be some variations in how to tie a Hitachi. There's two different ways that I like to do it, one underneath and one on top, as it were. So we will explore how to do both of those. And we will revisit the concepts of tying toys into place, whether those are dildos or plugs, making sure those stay where they're supposed to be in a nice tight little package. The tickets for that class are available on the KinkEd Atlanta Eventbrite page. So go to Eventbrite, find KinkEd Atlanta, find me, Madam Jess, as an event organizer. You can find all of these classes there. Additionally, you can always find all of the classes at kinkedatlanta.com. I also make sure to post them on FetLife, and I post them on all of our social media. So KinkEd Atlanta does have an Instagram and a Twitter account. Follow both of those to get the latest updates, or you can always follow me. I'm Madam Jess at My Madam Jess on all the socials. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you this Saturday, meeting Janet Hardy and welcoming her to Atlanta for both the private lunch and the class at Metropolitan Studios. Can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be a good one.